Let's talk about the Oscars, which is something that I usually don't do. However, it relates to gaming. So this story kind of started circulating around yesterday, and I was like, oh, I should talk about it, but it was too late for yesterday's news show. So at the Oscars, Ludwig Göransson won the Oscar, his second Academy Award, actually, for his score to the movie Oppenheimer. Or is it Oppenheimer? I don't even know. I didn't watch the movie. I want to see it, though. So he's 39 years old, okay? And he goes up to accept his award, and he has a heartfelt speech. He thanks his parents, and then he said something that irked a lot of people and rubbed them the wrong way, okay? He literally said this. You ready? To my parents, thank you for giving me guitars and drum machines instead of video games. Okay? And when he said that, of course, a lot of people laughed. Ah, it's so true. Wait, what? Wait. Thank you for giving me instruments instead of video games. Right? Now, wait a minute. Can you analyze that statement? Because essentially what he's doing is he's basically putting down another art form, right? Because if you're not aware, and this is very much corroborated and truthful, video games are the biggest, most profitable entertainment medium in the world. Video games make more money than movies, television, music, and any other art form combined. That's how big they are. This guy is essentially in his statement saying, gee, thanks for the instruments because this is what gave me success. I could have just been sitting around playing video games, kind of wasting my life away. He's saying that while video games are bigger than the art form he just won an Oscar for. So it's kind of like he's a musical genius, but I don't think he's very smart outside of that, right? I mean, what a dunderheaded thing to say at the Oscars on its platform, right? And it makes me scratch my head because, in truth, maybe he should have been composing for video games. You know what I mean? Or maybe that might be something he does in the future. And for him to make a statement like that is kind of ignorant, I feel. And the internet definitely reacted that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, lots of people reacted that way. People who were like actual composers, people who were classical musicians actually reached out and they were like, we're happy for the guy, but you definitely don't have to put down one art form to celebrate another. And we don't know why he kind of did that. I mean, yes, maybe it was just a joke and he thought it would be funny, but it was a joke at the expense of video games and gamers worldwide. And it's not a very good joke to do at the Oscars on that much of a public spectacle. So I just find that funny, right? That he did that. But at the same time, this is a joke that pretty much previously everyone would have heard the joke and just laughed and said, who cares? But today it's 2024. So because you make a joke like that, everyone has to talk about it, over microanalyze it, and go crazy about it on social media, right? So what I mean, like something like that 10, 15 years ago would have been done. Everyone's like, ha ha ha, who cares? But now it's like everyone's so sensitive about everything that you hear the joke and you're like, wow, you know, here's the truth. I'm happy that my uncle introduced me to video games. It was my uncle who did it. If my uncle did not introduce me to video games, I might not have a job right now. I've been doing this as a job since 2011. That's what, 13 years of my life? I've been employed for arguably a third of my life because of something that my uncle introduced to me when I was a kid as a hobby. And I found a way to turn it into a job. So I'm glad my uncle introduced me to this. So you know what I'm going to say? Gee, Uncle, thank you so much for introducing me to video games instead of handing me a guitar. Because I might be sitting around unemployed right now if it weren't for you. You see? Now, how does that sound? Does that sound nice to music or musicians? No, it doesn't. It's insulting to them. And that's why today you've got to make these different kind. Oh, I got to be careful about how I said it and what, you know? It's like, but that's the funny part here is that you can, anyone on either side can say that. If, you know, I do video gaming for a living pretty much. So I can say, thanks for introducing me to games, but I don't have to insult another art form to do that. And he just decided to do that and everyone got pissy about it, right? Okay. Exactly. Nick Cage says, You could have been in some street corner playing bad guitar, waiting for people to throw you coins in your guitar case. That could have been my life. You're absolutely right. Not everyone makes it big. Just because he made it big as a composer doesn't mean that other people wouldn't. So why do you got to put down video games, right? Anyway, I don't think that guy's going to be getting any video game companies reaching out to him for work anytime soon. He kind of burned some bridges there, just saying. All right, our last story for today. Actually, I take that back. There's 2 more stories. System Shock, the remake that has been out on PC for a while now, and I guess people have said it's really good if you like System Shock from the 1990s, is finally coming out on consoles May 21st. And it's on all consoles, like PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series S and X. So I don't know if you guys would be interested in seeing me play it. I've always heard that System Shock was kind of the predecessor to BioShock. It's the game that kind of later on went into BioShock. And I'm excited for that because I've always wanted to kind of play it. But I don't know if you guys would be interested in seeing me play it. What do you think? The System Shock remake, May 21st? Just saying. Maybe an interesting game for variety to play. But then again, I don't know if it holds up. You know, I never played it. So I don't know for like modern audiences and modern gamers if it's that good of a game still. Or maybe it's a kind of game that people would be like, oh, it's too outdated. I literally have never seen it. I don't know what to expect. So I'm just throwing that out there. If you guys are interested in that in a couple of months, I'd be willing to check it out if that's something that you would like. I mean, for me, it's kind of like gaming history. I want to see what it's all about. Where did BioShock originally come from, right?